Welcome to the Shangri-Llama, just a little shack that I'm renting whilst I'm out here managing the national team. Look, it's not time for the next tournament. We've still got a year to go, but we've come back just to give you a little bit of an update because after the last results against Mongolia and Macau, I was down on my knees thinking that this is a challenge that is just not achievable. But then there's been a little ray of hope, a little chink of light, and it's not even come with the Northern Mariana first team. So in this little update, we're going to give you 2 reasons to be cheerful about our prospects of sealing that 4th game. So here's Reasons to be Cheerful Part 1, and it's not just Juanito Hook, although Juanito in himself is of course a reason to be cheerful. But it turns out that even though all of the players in the Northern Mariana Islands are on amateur contracts, not even semi-pro, they're all amateurs, a little bit of a tribute development is possible, it seems, if they're getting some first team football and if they've got a personality that lends itself to training well. So on the screen right above me, we've got little Juanito's attributes when we first joined the Northern Mariana Islands, when little Juanito was still in short trousers, bless him, at just 17 years old. And then next to that, we've got what Juanito's attributes are now that he has come of age and he is a 21-year-old with 27 international caps under his belt, as well as 4 seasons of Mariana First Division football that he has played for his club. So you'll see that the biggest developments have come in the physicals. We've got acceleration going 10 to 11, agility going 8 to 10, his jumping reach has improved by 2, his pace has improved by 1, his stamina's up by 2, his strength is up by 2, as well as some of the technicals improving as well. His dribbling's gone up by 1. So it seems that with a personality of fairly professional, Juanito has made some progress. In fact, did a little bit of man maths. He has gone up 27 attribute points in 4 seasons in total. And at 21 years old, he's still got a little bit more developing to do. So while that is good news, it seems that we can take players on the islands and actually have some kind of hope that even though they're amateurs, they might improve as the seasons tick by, giving us a greater opportunity to develop a stronger starting 11 for the Northern Marianas. So the note of caution to add to that is that, of course, when our players join the game at 15, 16 years old, they get taken on youth contracts. Now, they're not paid any money, but those youth contracts have a 3-year expiry, and when they get to the end of those, many of their clubs are releasing their youth players, even though it wouldn't cost them anything to then sign them to amateur contracts. And what happens is they get released at the end of those youth contracts, they spend a year unemployed, and then they retire from the game and we lose their services. Case in point, little Tanapon Hook, Juanito's little brother. He was the top scorer in Division 1 2 years ago. He got to the end of his youth contract. His club could have signed him for nothing and paid him nothing, but they thought, nah, top scorer in the top flight, on your way, son. He spent a year unemployed, and now he has retired to concentrate on his career as a wedding planner. So we've lost the services of people like little Tanapon, and it's going to happen again. We had been developing Norman Duenos as our first choice keeper. Look at that, 13 caps at 19 years old. He started all 3 of our qualifiers in the last East Asian Championships. He's been released from his club, even though, look at him, he's got 5-star ability and 5-star potential, and he's been the starting keeper for Remington in their close shave seasons with relegation in Level 3. And they've decided to just release him. So we have been developing Norman to no avail, but there is little rays of hope because we've got some players who have been taken on at the end of their youth contracts, and I reckon they could develop a little bit. For example, we brought Tom Bogdan in. Now, he's a left back, he's not very quick, and his current ability is only 1 star. And you look at him and think, okay, why is he getting 3 international caps? Personality of model citizen. He's got 3 years of developing until he gets to the same age as Juanito Hook. If he could get a little bit quicker, if he could improve those physicals, maybe improve his marking and positioning as well, he could develop into a nice little option for us. So there are definitely reasons to be cheerful, but let's show you reasons to be cheerful part 2. And to do that, we're not going to look at the first team. We're actually going to have a look at the under-23s because they came within a gnat's whisker of doing something major. We thought that qualifying for the East Asian Federation Championships was the pinnacle of Northern Mariana football. Maybe it still is. But there's a second competition that we've been trying to qualify for with the under-23s. It turns out that the under-23 squad are eligible to participate in the full Asian Under-23 Championships. Now, we tried to qualify for it 2 years ago and it did not go well, if I'm honest. We're in a group with Malaysia, Cambodia and the Philippines and we lost all 3 games. So when the draw came and we found out that we'd been with Malaysia, Indonesia and Chinese Taipei, 3 pretty tough teams, we were not hopeful, but the miraculous happened. We went a goal down to Malaysia in the first game, and Malaysia had got some real players. Some people who would be the best players in our Marianas first team, if they were of our nationality. These were really impressive players with some good attributes. We went a goal down to them, but we came roaring back in the second half. Goals from Kirk Thossit-Belcher, who's now getting in the first team and has scored 3 goals for the senior team. We got Big Josh, who we know from our first team. He was young enough to go and travel with the under-23s. He was on the score sheet as well. And then, of course, Davey T, Big D. He qualified for the under-23s. We sent him out to the tournament to get more experience. He scored a 3rd for us. We'd beaten Malaysia. They got a consolation in injury time. Bit of a nervy end, truth be told. But then we went into a game against even tougher opponents. Let's show you some of these Indonesia players. I mean, look at that. If we had that as a number 10, my goodness, we would be roaring. I mean, some of their players were superb. We thought we were going to get an absolute hiding. And we did go 2 goals down. But then we pulled a goal back through a centre-half who scored from a corner. Then little Juanito struck in the 82nd minute. That was to make it 3-2 at that stage. But we had a chance to get a 3-3 draw with Indonesia's under-23s, which would have been the best result we've achieved so far. Big D steps up. It wasn't even a bad penalty. But my goodness, their goalkeeper gets down like a cat and does a superb save. I mean, if we just have a little look at the rascal there, look at those attributes. No wonder he is like a springbok between the sticks. A 3-2 defeat was still a superb performance, although it will come back to haunt us in the final game. We blitzed Chinese Taipei 5-1. Hat-trick from Big D. Turns out that he could score penalties after all in that game. Juanito on the score sheet as well. But then that left the standings. We'd finished 2nd. Now, 2nd wasn't good enough for an automatic place, but the 5 best 2nd place teams also qualified for the Asian Under-23 Championships and we missed out. It was a heartbreaker. Feel a little bit hard done by. Some of these groups had 5 teams in. Ours only had 4 teams in it, so we were able to amass 6 points. Some of these other teams had an extra game, so their records were better. But if Big Dave Tiamzon, if he'd have just stroked home that penalty against Indonesia and we got a 3-3 draw, that would have put us on 7 points. Indonesia would still have topped the group on goal difference, but we would have had 7 points and a better goal difference than teams like Palestine and Oman, who had an extra game to us and could still only amass 7 points. So we came so close and it's just given us a little bit of hope. I mean, if we sort our Mariana senior team by age, you'll see how many of those players qualified for the under-23 tournament. You'll also see how many of those boys, 21 years and younger, are going to be eligible for the under-23s in 2 years' time as well. And now the fact that we've got players like Juanito experiencing some attribute increases, well, it just gives us renewed hope that in a year's time, when we get to those East Asian Championships, we're going to be taking on Guam. We're coming for you, Macau. We're gunning for Mongolia. And we might have a chance of qualifying for that 4th game. So it's been an agonising story of near misses so far, but we continue undeterred. A year to go. Another chance at qualifying. We're taking you with us. We're going to see you next weekend. We're going to be playing Guam, Mongolia and Macau. This time, This time, more than any other time, we are going to qualify for that 4th game. Thank you to everybody who's been liking the videos. It is by far the most popular series on the channel. Thank you for everybody that's leaving comments. They lift the spirits after every bone-crushing defeat that we suffer. And thank you to everyone that's subscribing. It really is heartwarming. If you have subscribed, by the way, don't forget to check out the description below for links to other FM20 YouTube channels producing some extraordinary content of their own. But we're off. We've got work to do because we're living out these island dreams.